Everyone, we are here today to help you choose what is the right EDC weapon for your budget, right? Everybody has a different budget, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't afford the most expensive one, but maybe you should elect something that's a little bit on the cheaper side for you, right? But luckily, the market is absolutely flooded with guns that are geared towards EDC or CCW or everyday carry, right? With that being said, we have shot arguably every single gun that's come out in the last few years in regards to the EDC market, which has absolutely boomed. A couple quick things that I want to hit on before we begin. If you're new here, please make sure you subscribe to our channel. Go down there, hit the link, share it with your friends, whatever it might be, and also, of course, like the video. That does help us out quite a bit. We do always have a link to our website, which has our hats, merch, whatever it might be, and also a loadout for anything you may see in the video. But with that being said, a couple quick things I do want to hit on in regards to EDC guns. First things first. Comps that are going to blind you or make you deaf is a complete and total myth that is prolonged and furthered by people who truly don't know what they're talking about. I have guns on this table. Most of them are comped reported, okay, which we'll get into. So get that out of your mind that you can't carry a comped reported gun. Use the right proper ammo, use bonded ammunition, okay, good carry ammo, Hornady, Federal, Speer, stuff like that. You're not gonna have any issues. The idea that the shrapnel is gonna come out and you're gonna get blinded and all that, it's complete and utter nonsense, right? On top of that, most of the time for a carry gun, I expect it to have a light rail so it can therefore carry a light on the gun. I always carry a light on the gun. I carry a pocket light, something small generally, and I usually want there to be the ability to mount a red dot on the pistol, right? It's 2025. You should probably be thinking about going into and mounting a red dot on your carry gun. They've become reliable. It's definitely something you got to check and something to take note of. And of course, have backup iron sights. So all of these pistols on this table, they kind of meet these three factors. So let's get into it. For the very most budget-friendly pistol that I would elect or try and push somebody towards if you're interested, that is going to be the PSA Micro Dagger C1. So what this is like a Glock 48 in overall size. So it does have 15 round capacity, does come with 15 round magazine. It's optics cut for RMSC. This has a 507K, and then this does have a ported slide. With that being said, with the ported slide in this design, it's very easy to conceal. I carried a Glock 48 for a while, and on top of it, you don't feel like you're at a huge disadvantage going against somebody with a larger gun, right? So if you had to get in a gunfight, worst case scenario, you're not going to be completely outmatched because you have a little pea shooter inside your pants, right? Some people may still have that issue. But anyway, with this pistol here, it has good slide serrations. It has a decent trigger. It's not the best, it's not the greatest, but this pistol comes in at sub $400. Pretty hard to beat. I know there's other options. I don't like them compared to this, right? My next pistol that I would go into, this is a Smith & Wesson. This is a Shield Plus, right? So this does have a nice overall capacity, between 13 to 15 rounds, depending on the magazines you put in the gun. The grip feels good, the trigger is pretty decent, it has pretty shitty slide serrations, right? It is optics cut, and it will fit some of your smaller ones, but overall, these have a great reputation for being a good gun. These come in roughly about $500, and another honorable mention in that category would be something like a Glock 43 or 43X. With that being said, you guys know that we're Shadow Systems fans. The best pistols in Shadow Systems lineup are their Foundation Series. So this is the CR920. This is a Foundation Series CR920. These come in at sub $600. So somebody looking for something less than $1,000, it's slimline, it's concealed carry, it's easy to carry, 13+1 capacity, or 10 depending on the magazine that you put in the gun. Very easy to conceal. I carried one of these for quite a while. They've always been reliable. They do take a break-in period, right? That's something to take note of. And of course, don't shoot crappy ammo through any of your guns, especially on a carry gun. Easy to mount any kind of optic that you may want to put on the gun. So in that $500 to $600 dollar range for somebody, the CR920 is probably my #1 pick for you, right? It's very easy to conceal, it shoots well, and I've had nothing but great luck. And like I said, I've carried it. On top of it, you can easily mount a weapon light on the pistol. Now, with that being said though, one pistol size, okay, and category that's never going to be dethroned, in my opinion, for EDC is a Glock 19, right? Glock 19 is a great overall size for concealed carry, and with that I'll say that one of the other pistols I've really enjoyed carrying or had carried for a while is this MR920 from Shadow Systems. This is the Foundation series. This is exactly as I carried it, but with a weapon light on the front. It's very easy to conceal. You can conceal this every single season of the year, and that's something I'll also hit on with all of these pistols. When I tell you about EDC guns, these are guns that you should be able to carry every single day of the year, whether it's hot, cold, raining, sunshine, whatever it would be, because they'll conceal well enough that you won't have an issue with the right proper holster and belt, right? I want you to be able to wear a t-shirt and shorts. I don't want you to have to wear cover garments and all that nonsense so you look like Tactical Timmy out there while you're walking in the streets with your family. You shouldn't need to do that. You should be able to just wear some blue jeans and t-shirt and conceal your gun. With all of these ones on this table, you'll be able to do that. But the MR920 Glock 19 is probably going to be the undisputed and undefeated champ of EDC guns forever, right? It's just because of the size. It's a 4-inch barrel, 15-round capacity. It fits the size. It's easy to conceal still while still maintaining a good overall fighting pistol size. Now, the next gun we're going to come into, this is the Canik MC9 Prime. This is one that when we made the video, a number of people, they came out with some boomer fudlore and they said that the comp or the port on here is so loud, it's going to blow your eardrums out. You're never going to be able to hear anything when you shoot indoors, right? While the same people will tell you that you shouldn't put a suppressor on your AR, but they're going to use that as their home defense. Please tell me which one of those two weapon systems, you blow one off inside your house, is going to blow your eardrums out. It won't be this. It's called auditory exclusion, right? So keep that in mind. But this Canik MC9 Prime, when we made this video, ported or not, I said that this was probably one of the nicest feeling shooting pistols in its price category. Coming in at about 650 bucks, it's really hard to beat. It has 17 round capacity. It has a good overall size on the grip. It fits well. We did a review recently with the new Vortex Defender and closed dots where I beat the hell out of this pistol and it survived. It's sitting here today. It still shoots just fine, no issues, right? Overall, the trigger on here is the absolute best on this table with the exception of some other ones. For a striker fire gun, hard to beat. It's a really, really great overall package. If you're somebody who doesn't like it because it's made in Turkey or these ones here are made in USA, from a Turkish company, I'll never be able to have an answer for you. All I can tell you is it's a fantastic pistol that shoots great, and it shoots better, if not as good as everything else I've already mentioned, if not some of these other ones, right? Now, after that, Shadow Systems CR920 XP. This was my carry gun for about a year and a half. I just recently switched to something else. But with that being said, the reason I carried it is because this pistol is easy to conceal. It's slimmer than like the Canik. It's slimmer than an MR920 or a Glock 19, but it has the same performance as those two pistols, if not a little bit better than a standard Glock 19. The trigger on it ain't great out of the box, right? Shoot it and break it in. This one here is fantastic. It's great now, right? I have an EPS carry on here, a TLR7 Sub light. And again, like I said, this was my carry gun. It's easy to conceal, regardless of the season, regardless of the weather. No issues concealing this in a t-shirt with shorts. It's very easy to do. It's a really great overall design. It's accurate. It shoots well. It's flat shooting. It, again, does not make you feel disadvantaged whatsoever. But with that being said, I'd be hard-pressed to say that the SIG 365X Macro with a Radiant Ramjet afterburner combo and the magwell on it is not a better shooting gun, because it is. It does cost more, right? Because this here is about 800 bucks, right? So we went from 650 to 800 to this build, as you see it sitting here, is a touch over 1,000, right? So you get the red dot, you get the base plates from Radiant, so you can actually fit 17 rounds in there. You get the magwell, you get the back strap, you get the compensator. You still got to buy the pistol and all the other parts, right? But the way that this pistol shoots is like a full-size gun. And it truly is a fantastic shooting gun. And I'll tell you, before I get to the next two pistols, out of all these guns on the table, it's the best shooting of them. And it comes in at a price point that isn't that much than the rest of them. You get a lot of performance for what you're paying for it. And if you haven't tried out the Ramjet Afterburner combo for the 365 series of guns, or even, of course, the Glocks now, I highly recommend you do it. These have a very shooter neutral grip, great capacity, they shoot well, and the 365, regardless of some of the 320 stuff, has a great reputation. Now, my new EDC, right? This is my gun. So going into a price category now, it's starting to push like $2,000, right? We've basically, there isn't really anything I found that's worth a shit between 1,100 bucks to 2,000, right? With the exception of Bull Armory. This is the Bull Ultralite Pro. I didn't know that I would ever unseat this gun as my carry gun, but it did, right? So the Bull Armory Ultralite Pro is my current EDC. I've carried it now for about 3 to 4 months. And it's been fantastic. I carried it in hot weather, I carried it in cold weather now a little bit. It's easy to conceal, it's super accurate, right? This pistol is more accurate than I am. And on top of that, it shoots like a full-size fighting gun and better. It shoots better than everything else on this table. It's the best shooting gun that I have ever found in this category. I've shot a Staccato CS, so if you think your Staccato CS shoots better than this, I recommend that you actually go try one of these without just making a ignorant claim that it is better, because it's not, right? Go shoot this, and I promise you, this will shoot better than whatever Staccato CS you've shot. Now, those are great pistols, not knocking on them, but they are more expensive. I do have the Defender CCW enclosed red dot on here, a Streamlight TLR7X Sub, and of course, then it has a 15 to 16 round magazine capacity, good base pads, has a mag well, and then again, it's still easy to conceal. It is a really great shooting gun. I highly recommend you try one if you get the opportunity. Now, the final gun on the table is the most expensive, and this is a OA Defense 2311 Compact Pro. We reviewed this well over a year ago now at this point. I've never personally carried it, and it's just a touch on the higher side for size for me, right? And that's probably the biggest reason. On top of it, when these first came out, the holster choices for carrying them, garbage, right? So I can't carry a gun and conceal it well if the holster choices suck ass, okay? And unfortunately, when this came out, the holster choices, they suck, right? They've gotten a little bit better. There's a few other manufacturers that are able to do it. You know, like this SAS, I'm able to put in a G-code or a Tenacore, and now there's some other ones that are out now. Now this pistol, how it shoots, is nearly just as good, if not maybe a touch better than the SAS, but it's longer on the slide, and the grip length itself is a little bit longer as well, okay? But this does come in at a price point that's about $2,300. It's expensive, but you do get 5 magazines with it. You do get all the optics plates you could ever want in life, all right? It has a fantastic trigger that breaks in at about 2.5 pounds, which is just like the Bull Armory. The safeties on here feel good. It shoots flat. It shoots like a full-size fighting gun. And on top of it, what's different than everything else on this table where it really deserves a good mention is the fact that if you want to, you can get the additional mag well and make this a 17-round gun. So you can essentially make it into a full-size 4.25-inch, you know, duty pistol. And all you need is their other magwell. But outside of that, it fits really well, and it serves a really great overall role. So if you're somebody that's on the fence about the OA defense stuff, because maybe you're new to it or you're just unsure, you've heard some scuttlebutt on the internet, I'm here to tell you that I've owned now all of them. I shot all of them. The pistol I carried at the Mammoth Sniper Challenge was the full-size Pro. That pistol has been 100% reliable for well over 5,000 rounds. It's a fantastic gun. The magazines are easy to procure. They take 320 mags. There's really not too much bad to say about them, other than I think you got to try one to believe it. Now, there's one other gun I didn't mention, and it deserves an honorable mention, because these are pretty much all striker fire guns with the exception of the more expensive ones. And now there's more expensive guns out there, right? Like the Aliens and stuff like that. Of course, your custom 2011s. They're all great pistols. However, most people are never going to have one of those. That's a very, 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 very slim and select market. These pistols, although expensive, you can get them on the internet. You can find them at some shops. I've seen the OA Defense Bull is a little bit harder to get, but they're both fantastic. And the Bulls have a great reputation in particular. But with that being said, an honorable mention that I give, although they're a little bit on the pricey side, is the Kimber CDS. Whether it's the original one or the CDS Classic here, they're both good. They both shoot really well for their size. And if you get the other model like I actually like, you can mount a light on it and you can mount an optic, but they are about $1,000. And what I'll tell you is that they don't shoot as well as like this Sig Macro. And you'll notice here with the two of them, there's not a huge size discrepancy between the two of them. And I really can't say that like I would choose this over the Sig or even like the Shadow Systems. But if you're somebody that's like, hey, I want a single action gun that's small and easy to conceal, the Kimber CDS pistols are really, really nice options. So with all this being said, I got a ton of options on this table. No doubt somebody disagrees with me. That is absolutely okay. All I'm telling you is that I've tried all of these. I've tried every other pistol you could probably mention. And from what I've shot and what I've used, these pistols are some of the absolute very best options for any single budget for the EDC person. And I highly recommend you check any of these out.